What's up, co-reporters, and welcome back to my channel. It's time for a recap of what went down on the latest episode of Teen Mom Next Chapter. Per usual, I streamed it using Philo, and I have a link in the description box that you can use to go ahead and watch Teen Mom Next Chapter. You can watch that new show, The Baldwins, that I recap as well. Gypsy Rose's show is coming soon. All sorts of reality TV shows. Go ahead, sign up for a free account, and start streaming today. So this episode is all about Bentley's Sweet 16, y'all. Okay, so Macy, she's got the car. She's excited to present it to Bentley. She goes and talks to her friend Keely about it, and it's really nice to see that she is still friends with Keely. I just love having like those like longtime friends. And my friends, like I only have like one pair of friends who have like children right now, and my sister, she's got her son who is like about to turn 10. It's scary, but I just, I can't imagine like what it's like to see your friend, right, that like got pregnant as a teenager, and like you probably thought that, you and her probably thought that her life was over. She was going to struggle for life, like, because it's hard, right, to study and to do all sorts of things that you need to do to climb the corporate ladder or to become successful when you have kids super young. And just to see how her life turned out like this, and that her child is already 16 years old, insane. And I love that she has a longtime friend to share that journey with. Now, how cute was the flashback of Macy announcing her pregnancy with Jade to Bentley when he was so young, and him asking how she knew she was pregnant. Not to be messy, y'all, but this reminded me of Real Housewives of Miami when Larsa Pippen, Gertie was telling Larsa that she has cancer, and Larsa's like, how do you know? How do you know? What are you talking about? Like, it just reminded me of that for some reason. Now, Tyler's mom comes to talk about his kids approaching school age and how she didn't really get to enjoy Tyler's childhood because she was always in survival mode due to Butch being in and out of jail. Listen, I still, to this day, do not understand how she wound up with him, because she seems normal and Tyler speaks really highly of her in his book. So how does like a normal girl end up with a Butch? You know what I mean? And I kind of wonder the same when it comes to Caitlin's dad. How did he end up with an April? As far as I'm aware, he seems normal too. And FYI, you guys, I've been reading their book, Conquering Chaos, with my channel members. So if you want to catch up with us over there, make sure to hit that join button and to become a channel member, okay? Now, Tyler says that he hasn't seen Butch in about 5 years. So Butch hasn't even met his youngest daughter, Raya, yet. Over in Florida, and if you watched my recap of the other week's episode, you know that I'm really disturbed by this, like, and I'm not even going to say what the act is because it's too vulgar and it's involving children, right? I don't understand how this has made it to television. I'm mortified on Gannon's behalf. I don't know why his mom would put this out there. I don't know why the producers would put that out there. I don't know why the network is airing this. Like, it is terrible what's happening here, right? And so Mackenzie is still talking about the conversations that he had with his friend that she intercepted by taking a peek at his phone. Listen, I think it's great that she looks at his phone and stuff. I think it's important to do that too when it comes to kids, especially in the social media age, but not to air it on TV. This is the most extreme invasion of privacy that I have seen in a very, very long time, and I feel guilty for even consuming this show. She calls up her dad to talk about what she saw on the phone, and her ignorant ass dad told her, hey, like, no, don't give him the birds and the bees talk. Like, he's too young for all of that. When he's talking about this sort of stuff, right, and he's already aware of this world, you do have to, as a parent, step in and give him all the information that he needs about that world. So the dad wanting to just like not have the conversation is crazy. This is how he wound up with a pregnant teenage daughter. Up north in Indiana, we get to see Gary talking to Tyler about Amber coming in and out of Leah's life. And Tyler talks about having similar issues with his dad, Butch, and how therapy helped him to get through them. And then a little bit later on, we see Leah kind of sit down with Gary and tell him that a friend of hers at school asked her if she was on a show, which I found to be rather surprising because we're seeing all the other kids' friends on this show already. So like, we know that they know that these kids are on TV. And I feel like even when Addie was super young, like she was talking about being on TV. She told Kale she saw her on Teen Mom. Like, so how the heck did this happen? Like, kudos to Gary and Christina. If it's really true that no one had, that her friend had no idea that she was on TV, that was wild, right? So Leah told the friend, yes, I am a television star. And so the friend then shared TikToks of all of the times that Amber was just being like a psycho on the show, right? And so you would see Amber Abusing Gary in front of LEAH, screaming about LEAH, crying and whatnot. Like, it was nasty to watch, right? And so LEAH tells Gary that it was really difficult for her to see like her dad being mistreated and herself being mistreated as a baby. She's like, damn, like she was, screaming about me, in another room. Like, I can't believe she was so mean to little me. Woo! So damn sad, right? And so LEAH then opens up, and again, it's getting real. The show's getting really, really difficult. It is, because again, I'm feeling guilty about what I'm watching here, right? Because now she's opening up to her dad about all the issues that she has, like psychologically, emotionally, because of Amber, right? And it comes from obviously experiencing the stuff with Amber, but also watching it back, And all they're really doing here, although Gary is going to try to get her help, he is still continuing to create that content that is going to be shared on social media, on TikTok, and viewable to LEAH, that continues this kind of vicious cycle. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, this is the first time that we're really seeing one of the children talk about the harmful effects of the show. Like, Amber herself obviously is harmful to LEAH, right? But the show, like the fact that these clips are out there for her to watch, are causing her psychological harm. So, and I know a lot of people are celebrating that Gary's getting her into therapy and stuff. And I think that people should celebrate the fact that Gary's getting her into therapy, but don't forget that he still got her on the show that is causing her psychological harm. So that was something to me that I just was blown away by, like, kudos to her for now being open to therapy. I think in the past it was kind of a touch and go. And for being able to articulate all of that. And I feel bad for her that all of that had to be articulated on a show, so that was really, really sad. She says that therapy is also going to help her to be able to forgive Amber. And she never says my mom. She always says Amber. I hope one day she starts calling her Kung Fu. Do you think she watches The Grace Report, y'all? I would just like for her to call her Kung Fu just one good time, and move on with her life. And she also talks about having abandonment issues because of Amber, and how she's always scared that her real mom, Christina, is going to leave her, or just that everyone in her life is going to leave her for no reason. And I'm just, so saddened to hear this, and I don't think, I feel like even if Christina and Gary were to split up, I don't think that Christina would ever walk out of LEAH's life. Like, that is her daughter through and through, and I just love the relationship that they've been able to build together. Now, let's go down to the Sunshine State. In Florida, Mackenzie thinks that Gannon is speaking about very adult things because he's surrounded by girls through her cheer gym. And apparently Gannon dated the daughter of one of Mackenzie's employees or coaches or whatever. And then that didn't work out. Then he started like dating like her friends and other girls in this thing. And I said, I thought this child was 13. What do you mean dated? What? This stuff is so foreign to me, like, wow, 13. Okay. I know that this is what the kids were doing back in the day, but my parents did not stand for that at all. And listen, I went to like this tiny, tiny little school in the middle of nowhere. I was not dating nothing anyway, even if I was allowed to. One thing I have to say about this scene, though, is that I think that the behavior that Gannon is exhibiting here, in my opinion, is a little bit alarming. Like hopping around the girls, saying all of these inappropriate things to the girls. And I don't understand why Mackenzie's so casual about it. I think she, as his mom and also as a business owner, like, this could ruin the reputation of her cheer gym, I think she needs to take this more seriously and be stern with him about what's going on. Like, I'm getting the vibe here, and I hate to even talk about this. Again, I don't think this should be on TV. I'm getting the vibe here based off of like the explicit messages being sent and the conversations he's having with the girls, is that, and I hope I'm wrong, and again, I hate that I'm saying this, I get the vibe that he's testing the waters with these girls, and these girls are just not having it, and he keeps making you know what I mean? And again, why put this out there for anyone to even talk about it, right? Like, and I'm not going to mention exactly what it is, because I I'm disgusted. I really, really am. We flip into some scene of Tyler talking about his childhood with Butch, and it turns out that Butch was even younger than Tyler as a father. Like, what was he, like 13 when Tyler was born? That is insane. Listen, I know that Butch was not a good dad, right, to Tyler, but I think it's a generational thing. And again, this comes up in the book. Like everybody, their parents, their aunts, their uncles, their cousins, everybody, unfortunately, it's a cycle. It's a very vicious cycle in their world and in their community. And they talk about this a lot in their book, which I recap with my channel members. So I do have like a certain sadness about it, right? And so Butch particularly, I still remember him talking about how vicious his dad was to him on the show. Butch said that he used to wet the bed because his dad would beat him so bad that he'd always be scared. And it was just like an involuntary reaction almost. And that is something that like is heartbreaking to even think about. Then we head back over to Florida where Mackenzie sits down with Gannon in the bed. I don't know if she brought her filthy shoes into the bed this time around. I didn't look, but she's got the camera crew, right? And she's got her son and she's trying to have the birds and the bees talk with him, the ex talk. And he's uncomfortable. She's like, why are you so uncomfortable? Sis, be so effing for real. Why is he so it's already uncomfortable enough, right, for the child to have this combo with the parent. But then you've got the cameraman, you've got the mic guy, you've got like everybody here. Stop it. Like, that's crazy. And she was getting frustrated with him. I'm like, stop it. Like, is anything sacred in these children's lives? Anything? Meanwhile, we still have not seen a glimpse of Amber at all this episode. And we find out that she's been in no contact with Leah for the past 4 months. And Gary and Christina are happy that Leah is doing therapy because it'll factor into legal decisions down the line if Amber ever tries to pretend that she is stepping up as a mom and she wants custody, she wants to see her daughter. They could just go ahead, open up the records with the psychiatrist, the psychologist that Leah is speaking with in therapy, and see how deeply traumatized she is by Amber and how detrimental it would be for her to live with Amber. And it would be an open and shut case. And so I'm happy for them in that regard as well. Christina says that Leah threatened to pull a Gary 2.0, aka Casper, which was to run away if ever she were forced to go and live with Amber. And, you know, it's just really, really sad to hear, right? Like, I think she's right. Listen, Leah, I'm a lot older than you. I think I'm twice your age, maybe even more. And I'd run away too if I were forced to live with Kung Fu. Are you kidding me? Like, no. Back in Tyler's world, he sends a text message to his dad, Butch, inviting him to spend some time with his family and his kids and everything. And in the message, I noticed that he said he'll pay for it all. He doesn't have to worry about anything. I gotta say, you guys, I really hate how parentified, I think the word is, some of these kids are, right? Like when these people who have no business having kids, like then turn around and have to rely on and depend on these kids for like everything. It just makes me sad and frustrated on behalf of the child. And so, you know, when you just think about how some people have it versus others, right? Like thinking about like Macy or like Caitlin or someone else like that, like they would never have to think about this, right? Like financing or funding their parents or taking care of their parents or anything like that. But other people are not so lucky. It's time for Bentley to finally get his long-awaited 16th birthday gift, which was that beautiful car. And I gotta ask, why was Macy drunk for the birthday party? It seemed like Mimi Jen was drunk as well. Like she's all slurring, giving him the keys. She probably smelled like alcohol in her breath and stuff. Like it's a 16th birthday party. Why are you drunk? Like you got, wait, like I don't get it personally, but hey, different strokes for different folks. Bentley was really surprised by it and just super excited. He spun the block with the car with Macy, Taylor, Ryan and Amanda. And I thought it was really sweet that both couples could be there to enjoy that moment. And I gotta say, listen, I know that Amanda's kind of like ratchet, you know, especially with those like trashy tattoos and stuff and just like ratchet stuff she posts online. But in person, like her personality is so cute and so bubbly. So I don't understand the persona, right? The tattoos and the TikToks and the Instagram stuff. Like I'm actually really shocked at how vulgar she is because here she is just skipping around. So like she's so cute. I'm like, what is this girl? Like I wish she leaned more into the cutesy personality than the like, you know, kind of grimy personality, but whatever. Now, That's it, you guys. That's a recap of what went down on that episode of Teen Mom Next Chapter. I want to know what you thought about it. So please make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. Don't forget, I've got a link in the description box of the video that you can use to go ahead and watch it on below. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.